I've switched my attention to bodywork today, mainly because it's freezing outside. Temperature is 0 degrees C at the moment, and it's not that I can't work in the garage. I do have an infrared heater. It's just that all the hand tools and the lathe and the milling machine, which are all made of metal, are absolutely freezing cold. So I can keep my body warm, but I can never keep my hands warm. Anyway, moving on. So this is the firewall. And one of the things I was a bit disappointed with was the level to which these items, the hood is supported on this item. And in essence, it's supported by these little holes here. So you can see. So what I've decided to do is to put some plastic inserts in so that this will butt up against those. I've filed them down, so this is ready to go back into painting to have those resolved, and I just think it'll make a better fit for the bonnet when it's done. The other thing I did recently is I found these very small hinges through a company called Cornwall Model Boats, and I buy a lot of material from them. They're good for model builders, and they do have all sorts of odd hinges and brackets and whatnot that I sometimes use. And what I decided to do is I want to make this component, I want this basically to hinge, as it would do in real life. It won't go much further than that at the moment. I've just finished fitting the hinges. So you can see there are the hinges on the opposite side. I haven't trimmed back all of the bolts that I've used. And what I've used specifically is 14BA, round-headed, no slot, and bolts. And you can see this is the outcome of that. So my next task is going to be to tighten all these up. Run them up with a small box spanner. That's quite difficult when to tighten up when you've got a round head and there's no slot in it. So I'll hold the stem of the bolt. I'll tighten those up with a little spanner that I've got, and then I shall cut them off, and I'll have a much better job. So I'll get back to you when I've done that. So there we have it. There's the 4 hinges on the inside of the bonnet. You'll notice I've cut all the nuts so that they're now effectively just flush with the head of the nuts. I file them down a little bit. You may notice there are 2 nuts in the middle. There's 4 hinges. Typically this would be a piano hinge, so it would be symmetrical. So by putting those extra bolts in, you can see that these are them here. You've got this nice symmetrical line of fixings for what would in a real car be a piano hinge. And as you can see, it folds up nicely. So I just do that. I'm probably going to fill these holes in and use the same fixings to do along the top of the bonnet. Just think it provides a nicer and better solution at scale. So watch this space. So as you can see, I've fitted the main central hinge, and what I did is I took the hinge away to the workshop and I drilled all these little holes. I've then used the fixings that come with the kit to hold the hinge in central position, and I now drill through the plastic work, and here you can see all the holes which I'm going to put the 14BA round-headed bolts into. So as you can see, I've now fitted and trimmed all the nuts and bolts. I've removed the fittings that were supplied with the kit. The next thing to do is I'm going to just turn this over to show you. So I'm going to make some small plastic discs which I can super glue over the holes, and then I'll use a modelling filler to fill the holes in and smooth those off. When I've done that, one of the things I have to do is I've got to put 2 more round-headed screws in the centre I've looked at the other side, so I mean in theory, and I suspect in practice, this particular component on here would in all probability have had hinges on it as well, although I'm not proposing to put any on it. What I will do though is I'll glue that into position, and then I will put the same kind of round nuts along the side, along the top of this, just to indicate the symmetry of a hinge being there but not actually being there.